PlayStation.
How awesome is that? That's the PlayStation 1 startup sound, one of the most only 90s kids noises in existence. But exploiting nostalgia isn't just for memers, it's also for large corporations to get you to buy things, and it's why retro consoles are so trendy right now. Sony tried their hand at this recently and botched it massively. I'm not going to go into all the technical ways that the Sony PlayStation 1 Classic sucked, because in my opinion, the biggest letdown was the games. More specifically, the games that they should have added, but didn't. And for the record, I quite like a lot of what they put in. Abe's Odyssey, Rayman, Metal Gear Solid, and Tekken 3 are all pinnacle PS1 games and deserve to be there. But Destruction Derby 1, Twisted Metal 1, these are not games that anybody considers classics. Before we get started, I've built a game into this YouTube video. See if you can guess which video game titles I lifted the countdown numbers from. Good luck. Number 7. I'm about to trigger a bunch of people from Europe and Australia by saying this, but Tomba! Because it was Tomba. The original title was Ore Tomba in Japan, so Tombi doesn't make any damn sense. Definitely a cult hit. Tomba became popular because of its 2.5D platforming, puzzle solving, and inclusion of FMVs, or full motion videos. Now, I didn't play this game when it came out in 1998 or something like that. I was too poor to have every game on the market, but the sheer popularity of this game alone means that it should be in the collection. They really goofed by not including it. Literally everybody should know this one. It's only the biggest and most overrated game of all time. Final Fantasy VII. Come at me. Number 6. Croc. Probably one of the cutest protagonists from that era of video games. Croc's on a mission to save his family of gobos from Dante and the evil Dantinis. Croc had a lot of things that we take for granted in games today. It had minigames, secret areas, and boss fights. And it was really quite long, so you got a lot of bang for your buck. Another super obvious choice for a game that should have been in the collection. Again, Sony, what the hell are you doing? This should have been in there. Fighting game fans should know this one, because it's part of the better fighting game franchise. Tekken 6. Number 5. I literally cannot fathom why this was left out, especially considering it's their own game. Ape Escape is about super intelligent apes that steal a time machine to travel throughout time and make themselves the dominant species on Earth. And for some reason it becomes these kids' jobs to catch them all. I mean, sure, it's not winning any awards for writing, but it sold really well and critics loved it too. At the time, many called it the best 3D platformer on the console. Again, this is their IP. It wouldn't have cost them anything to put it in. This will be easy for all you Xbox fans. I personally can't stand the series, but it is Halo 5. Number 4. Cooler World. The PlayStation was the first console to do 3D well, and Cooler World took full advantage of that. Now, it might seem like an odd pick for a classics collection, considering it didn't sell super well, but stick with me. Cooler World was similar to Tetris on NES or Columns on Mega Drive, in that this is the game that your parents or non-gamer siblings probably love to play. And personally, I lost count of the amount of times that people asked for this game when I worked in a retro video game store, so it clearly has lasting appeal. Widely regarded as the last of the good Call of Duty games, but I'd probably put it second to World at War. It's Modern Warfare. Number 3. Spyro the Dragon. Now you might say, why would I play that? The Reignite trilogy is out, it's all 3 games, and the graphics are so much better. And that might actually be why it's not in the collection, because they don't want to hurt the sales of the remaster. But for OG fans, nothing compares to the original graphics and audio. They did so much with so little, and the game has tons of character because of it. My favourite aspect is the phenomenal soundtrack by Stuart Copeland. He truly outdid himself, every track is a banger, and for many people this would have been their first PlayStation game. So to me, not including it seems like a huge misstep. If timing was the concern, they should have just waited. It's really not okay. Can almost guarantee that if you're born after 2000, you won't know this one. It's Contra 3. Number 2. Crash Bandicoot. Probably left out because of the release of the Insane trilogy. I mean, I suppose if fans of the original can get this with a bunch of other awesome games that they likely play at the same time, then why bother buying the remaster? Makes sense. Still not okay for a console touting itself as a recreation of the original PlayStation 1. While it was my first PlayStation game, I love it for way more reasons than just that. The often punishing gameplay was similar to games on the Mega Drive, but the 3D graphics were like something out of sci-fi and really amplified the action. Running from boulders, pulling off risky moves, everything was made better with the addition of the third dimension, and this collection feels totally hollow without it. For shame, Sony. Well, at least there's always emulators. You probably realized I was throwing some shade at it earlier, but we wouldn't have modern fighting games without it. It's Street Fighter 2. Number 1.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you?
Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This game is a legit masterpiece. 4 years after his death in Rondo of Blood, Dracula's Machiavellian castle reappears. And Alucard, the half-human son of Dracula, arrives to destroy his father's demonic legacy. Symphony of the Night does so much perfectly, blending RPG elements with arguably the best side-scrolling action ever created. It really speaks to the quality of the game that 20 years later it still holds up. I only played it fully for the first time last year, and it was immediately obvious to me why this game is so highly regarded. Now, why wasn't such a celebrated title included in the classic? I'd like to blame Konami, but Metal Gear Solid's in there, so who knows? Just another wasted opportunity. I really should apologize for this one, because it's not even a numeral. It's actually the I from Illusion of Gaia. Hats off if you got that one. That's it for my list, guys. Thanks a bunch for watching. If you enjoyed or agreed with any of these, throw me a like, a subscribe, a comment. I'll take anything, and hopefully I'll stick with it and create more videos in the future. I'll see you around.